So thanks everyone for being here today. We have a busy week to wrap up practice. We have a lot that we need to get done in this final week of spring ball. Our goal this entire spring practice has been really focus on technique and fundamentals. Being more smart, being smarter, playing fast. Being physical, and just working our entire process. We held a scrimmage last Thursday. I like what I saw. Guys play fast. We're getting after it. Had a lot of energy and enthusiasm. We're really excited to get in front of the fans in the woodshed on Saturday. I know our players are really looking forward to that, and I know we're going to have a good crowd. The weather's supposed to be good. We have a lot of things going on campus. We had the ISO race, and then obviously the book drive. We're asking everyone to bring a book to support the Lansing schools, and we should be able to get that done. And we're thin on the offensive line, so I've got a lot of questions about will we have a game split the team up. It'll probably be more like what we did a year ago, where we'll have a practice and then we'll have some live periods in the second half of the practice. And but it will be physical. We'll get a chance to see our attention to detail, our sense of urgency, like how we go about our business. We'll have a lot of recruits in town. Some of the top players in the country will be there as well. And just really looking forward to wrapping up this spring. It's been good, and we got a lot of work done. It's been a very positive step in the process. So with that, I'll open it up for questions if anyone has any.
Now, what's the reason a lot of other schools are steered away from a traditional spring game? Is it less productive, or is there more injury risk, or what's the reason?
I'm not exactly sure. I would love to be able to play a traditional game if we could, but our numbers won't allow us to do it. But if we could, then I would do that.
So numbers then, right?
For us, it is.
You obviously went through that last year. Having gone through that a year ago, what were the benefits that you found from that versus maybe the things that you kind of wish you would have been able to get done just doing a practice rather than a full live scrimmage?
Well, we like to have as many game-like experiences as we can before the season starts. Like I said before, we don't have preseason games, and so when you get a chance to get into a stadium, into the woodshed, and with fans and create a game-like atmosphere, I think that helps. But the next best thing is just have a really solid practice, and our guys know how to do that. And it's going to be intense, and there's going to be a sense of urgency, attention to detail. So there'll be a certain amount of pain and pressure involved in that, just from having to focus and compete in the drills at a high level in front of fans. That'll be able to get the job done.
We talked to Chris a couple weeks ago, and he was noting the lack of numbers they had, and saying that
Coach Cap?
Yeah, fewer team reps. I was wondering how you think that is, just the effect of that having more practice, where you maybe have to just focus more so on the work.
Well, we had to adjust how we run the practices. Like normally, you do your individual periods early on, and then you go to the group periods, then you go to team. And so we've had to mix some of the group periods in between the team periods throughout the practice, so that we can keep the O-line fresh. Then we've implemented some TV timeouts during practice to give those guys a blow. But when we go. Like when they snap the ball, guys are playing fast. And it's been good because we're getting some of those young guys a lot of extra work. I mean, they're that's what we have. So they're taking all the reps, and they're getting better, and that's going to help our depth, at that position.
Now, with COVID protocols being so much less than they were the last couple of years, and the season you had, do you feel more of a buzz going into this spring game, so to speak?
I think I feel a buzz. I mean, it's kind of hard for me right now just because of how much time that I spend here, and going through the spring practices and in between all the work that we're doing. Like I'm not out as much. I'm almost like in a bubble, but it feels like there's a buzz. I know there's a buzz in recruiting, and I would like. I mean, how's the weather supposed to be? It's supposed to be decent, right? I would like to. I mean, I would like to see as many people out there as possible. I remember our first spring game at Georgia. We had 97,000 people there, and the fire marshal had to come and had to tell people they couldn't come in. They were standing in the aisles. So I would love to see that, and I don't see why not. Come on out and let's watch some ball.
Now, what about some of the new guys, namely the transfer guys, whether it's those linebackers or speed or guys like that? Have they progressed and kind of jumped in and picked up as quickly as you would expect? And what do you think fans will see from them? Do you think they'll notice those guys on Saturday a little more than maybe, say, a true freshman who's enrolled early that might be a little behind?
Yeah, well, they'll notice those guys because I mean they're good players and they play fast, and they run and hit and they're veteran players and they know how to practice, so that they'll notice those guys. Like Amir Speed, you'll notice him because he's like 7'2", so he's gonna stick out like a sore thumb out there. But yeah, they'll notice those guys. The fans they'll be happy to see those guys out there.
From a recruiting standpoint, how much are you looking forward, I guess, to the environment? Does that make a big difference for the recruits who are coming in to see what it would be like to play in a packed Spartan Stadium?
It does. It makes a difference because the recruiting, like we're competing for the players, we're competing against other programs, and so when in recruiting, the competition, a lot of it is about comparison. So they're going to compare the experience here to the experiences they see other places, and so we need to put our best foot forward.
What did you think about the scrimmage last Thursday? Anything in particular stand out that was a foot forward, or a positive thing you were happy with?
It was cleaner. The football was cleaner on both sides of the ball. We got really good work on special teams, and I mean there were less mistakes. Guys were playing faster, and it was just a you could tell that the squad had improved, over in less than a week because it was just a better brand of football being played in the scrimmage, and I actually saw the offensive line do some good things, even as thin as we are, and guys popped a couple runs, which was good to see. And Berger wasn't full strength the first time we scrimmaged, so that was the first time I got a chance to really see him live, and he popped a couple runs and he looked good.
Now that you are in your final week of spring ball practice, and obviously you don't have Kenneth, is there anybody else at running back who has continued to impress you as the weeks have went on?
Yep, like I said, like Berger, he emerged. We did had a player alert segment in our team meeting for Prim, and so he made a guy miss in the hole, and so I showed it to the team. The slide was player alert, and then showed him making some plays, and I said it's not a declaration of a bona fide player, but it's an alert. It's to be on alert, and so that was good to see from him.
I was wondering what your outlook or your take is on Angelo Gross. He even played as a true freshman, and now last year barely even got off the field and played multiple positions versus those.
Yeah, Weasel's a good player, and he works hard. He's very. I've seen him mature, and over this time that he's been here, he's really focused, and like his attention to detail, and he really works on his technique, and he plays fast, and so you can see like he's taking the things from the meeting room to the practice field, and he's working to get better. He's not coasting or cruising. He's actually working every day to get better. So I mean that's good for him. That's good for us because we're going to need him to be a good player for us.
Last week, Tom came out and said
basically the transfer portal kind of, gives it out for players to, basically not compete to stay, compete to play, so to speak. What are your thoughts on those comments? Do you foresee a scenario at Michigan State where the transfer portal is a net negative instead of a net positive?
Yeah, I didn't see the comments, and I didn't hear his comments, so I really can't comment on his comments. But the portal, from my standpoint, it's here. It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. And if it's a net negative or net positive, I think it just depends on the individual situations, and everyone's situation is different. Every program situation is unique. So I think I've already really talked about how I feel about the portal. I really haven't changed.
And then the place kicker situation, you've got a freshman coming in, I imagine a good summer, early summer, something like that, a scholarship freshman, I think, Stoner's coming in, I think. What does the place kicking situation look like this spring? If they're in progress, what will that look like on Saturday?
Yeah, man, I like what those guys are doing out there. Hank's snapping the back there pretty good, and like Rusty's taking some swings, and he's better than he was. He's improved. He's got really good confidence going in, and so there'll be we'll have competition and depth when we start fall camp.
What would you see, the scrimmage from the guys behind Peyton, who's obviously the number 2 starter situation? Would you feel like you're getting a little closer to ironing it out, or will that be a deep into camp kind of thing?
I think it's going to probably go into camp with those guys. They're getting better. All of them. They're all very talented guys. It's just going to be a matter of who's going to step up the most and be the most consistent at the position. But I like the guys that we have there, and so they're going to continue to get better because they really work. They're serious guys that they have very good attention to detail, and they're very competitive. And then Coach Johnson, he coaches them relentlessly.
With Brim, you mentioned him. Did you get a good look at him last year when he came in as a freshman? He probably was a little behind the scenes. I'm just wondering, with this spring, a lot of people have mentioned him. Is it just he's sort of getting an opportunity, or has he made a lot of improvements as a player, a little bit of both things?
I think it's both. I mean, I saw him every day, like on the scout team, and then last preseason we had a couple scrimmages. He got the ball a couple times, and he looked like a good player. So it's just developing. Listen, I'm not like saying that he's like, I'm not putting him in the Hall of Fame or anything. I'm just saying he's a player that you ask about players that have gotten better, and he's flashing. There's a player alert.
What's the most important ingredient you're looking for in your team Saturday, Mel?
The most important ingredient, I want to see a relentless effort. That's the foundation of what we're doing. Extreme effort, just relentless mindset. I couldn't hear the first part, I'm sorry.
Your early impressions on the 2 transfer linebackers, Aaron?
Yep, with Brule and Winmon. So both of those guys are mature guys that are very competitive. They're very coachable. They both have leadership qualities that they bring to the table. They're consistent performers. They're positive guys. They're good team locker room guys. And they like to run and hit. They really do. I mean, they hunt the ball. Some people fish and some people hunt, and they hunt.
Back in 1998, were you involved at all, or do you remember the recruitment of Antonio Gates here? How much did that influence, I guess, maybe your perspective on, two sport athletes and guys playing both football and basketball?
Yeah, I wasn't involved in Gates's recruitment. I do remember him being here, though. I do remember that. I think maybe Bobby Williams was maybe the one, as I remember. I know it was important that he got here. But man, like in '98, man, I wasn't like recruiting guys. Like I was helping guys, but I was like making copies. You know, I was making copies and getting coffee and things like that. You know, he was like a big time player, so obviously they weren't going to put me on him. You know.
How much did that, I mean, his experience maybe influence, I guess, your perspective on guys playing both sports, and obviously he left Michigan State because of that?
Right. So when I was here, like Lorenzo Guest was here, and he was on football scholarship. He was playing basketball, and so I saw that work, so you know I thought that was, I knew it was possible, and then like I never saw Gates play because he wasn't really playing when I was here that year. He wasn't playing, and he didn't start playing basketball until he left here. And so I kind of saw how that, I don't know if he ever played both in college. You know, I think he played basketball and then he decided to play football in the league. But you know, I watched that. I'm okay with guys playing two sports. Like when I was at Alabama, I had like Marlon Humphrey ran track, Tony Brown ran track, Bradley Silver ran track. There's DBs I had. Anthony Averett ran track. I had, you know, those guys were track guys. When I went to Georgia, I recruited Miko Hartman as a two-sport guy. So he ran track at Georgia, played ball. So, you know, we had Adam Bird. Of course, when I got here, he's playing baseball. And we got these two guys here with Keon and Malik went out there to play basketball this year. So, and that comes up in recruiting because we have some two-sport guys who we're recruiting. They want to know like. How do you feel about two-sport athletes? Now, well, I said, well, we have some on our team, so it helps when I can at least tell them like we're actually doing it, not just saying, oh yeah, you can play two sports, and once they get here, then we change, you know, we change our mind. We're actually doing it, you know, and so that, I mean, I'm good with the two-sport guys if they can handle it.
How much more attractive is the two of these programs? Obviously, you guys can help people Michigan State basketball is obviously nationally renowned, and how much of a selling point is that you can play with two really quality programs?
I think it's a selling point because if they're interested in doing it and they want to do it, and you're at Power 5 level, you know, and you know, Michigan State, where we're, you know, competing at a high level in both sports. I mean, you're doing something if you can get that done, and especially if you can actually play, like actually get in the games at some point and contribute. You know, so I think it's attractive to the two-sport guys that like they want to try to do it, and then we've shown that we can make that happen.
Is Burkhardt playing baseball this spring?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's been banged up, so you know.
Mel, can you talk about, I know you talked about the transfers, but can you talk about what they've done to the strength and conditioning program, the nutrition program? Looks like Brule is built a little bit better than he was last year. Maybe he was playing a little bit heavy last year. He looks really cut up now.
You said he was chubby last year and we slimmed him down?
A little bit.
I don't know about that. He was in pretty good shape when he got here, but I mean, like all these guys are like in better shape now because they've been working out with us. Like it was like, you know, so many weeks, couple months before spring ball, and then spring ball. I mean, they work out almost every day, so they're in really good shape. But our strength and conditioning program is outstanding. Coach Novak and his staff, they do a great job. They do a great job, and our players trust them and they believe in what they're doing. So they listen to them and they follow instructions and they work hard to get it done. And they work in the weight room the same way we work on the field. They don't waste time in between sets or stations or whatever. They're moving around. Nobody's walking around in there and like lollygagging. It's not like Club Med in there. I mean, it's not like going over to the MAC. I mean, those guys are in there grinding, and then same thing with nutrition. Like Amber is like she's like a coach. Like she's on those guys. We got the weight gain guys, the weight loss guys, the maintain guys, and she's texting guys, and she's like making sure they get what they need, and she's holding people accountable. She's holding me accountable.
Last year was Ronald Williams' first year basically as a yeah, at this level of football, and I think he made some progress as the year went along. Now he's in his year 2 at this level, basically, of college football. Do you see some progress from Ron Williams?
I do see some progress from Ron. I like Ron. Ron cares. Like, he wants to be a good player, and he's willing to work, and he listens, and he's maturing. Like, I mean, he's actually, you know, he was already an older guy, and now he's actually, like, I think he's starting to come into his own. I really do, because like you said, he was like in junior college, and then he was banged up, and then he came here. So he got that season under his belt, and now he knows what it's all about. And now, so now we're working to get better and get good, you know, and become consistent. And he's willing to put that work in. So I'm looking forward to, you know, to continue to work with him, you know, in the meeting rooms and out on the field, because I think we're gaining a lot of ground.
What do you mean when you say the hammer holds you accountable? What does that mean?
Yeah, because when I go out on the field, like, she has this beet juice right there, and sometimes there's some healthy pores on that thing. And I mean, I can try to come in this one door, she's going to see me there. If I try to come in the other way, like, I'm going to drink the beet juice. That's just it's non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable. And then afterwards, because I'm a cramper, the pickle juice deal, you know. And it's gonna be like this little ball of I don't know what it is. It looks like cookie dough, like balled up. I don't know what's in it, but it's like wrapped in in some type of plastic, and it's like this little goo. And it's like that, and like these 2 things of pickle juice, like after every practice, relentlessly.
Can I ask which category you're in?
Which category? I'm in weight loss. I mean, you don't even have to ask. I mean, what category would you be in?
Same one, guys.
Same one. We're in the same boat?
We need to talk then.
Yeah, we do. We can hold each other accountable.
You look at that, I mean, the change from when you were a player, however many years ago it was, to now, that, I mean, you ever kind of look back and say, geez, if we had this kind of attention to this stuff when I was a player, how much better you or any of your teammates could have been?
Well, everything's so much different now than when I was. I mean, I was back in the dark ages. But I know when we needed to gain weight, like when I was in school, they gave us like these cases of Ensure. You take them home to take them in the dorm, and you just pound it in Ensure, like the strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate, man. Whew. I mean, we're not doing that now. I mean, there's a lot of things that are different. The whole nutrition piece, because I can remember even like even going back before like college, like where like they didn't want you to have water like in practice. You remember those days? Like water make you soft, or they said water make you cramp. Do you remember that? Back in the, so I mean, we come a long way. Or you go to the water fountain, they count to 1, 2, 3, and then you had to be out. I mean, it's a lot's changed since back in the day.
Now, yeah, I know you're long gone from Ohio State, but your path never crossed the way Haskins ran.
No.
As a coach, when you see something like that, man, how do you kind of, I'm sure that like your players probably see that, and some of them probably played against Haskins. I mean, how do you kind of maybe guide them through a moment like that?
Can I hear the first part of your question again, the very first part?
Your players on your team, I mean, some guys, the older guys, they played against Haskins, but you obviously know that he came through the Big Ten and took the path there. How do you kind of maybe just do brief counseling for your own players when they see something like that?
Yeah, nothing has come to my attention so far with our guys, but we have a very good comprehensive mental health program and really mental health practitioners that are available to our players, for all types of issues, including grief.
The other day, Brenda and Angelo Gross were up here talking with us, and they said, like, the way things went in the backfield last last year, that there's sort of a hunger and a motivation to get after it this spring? Now that you're working pretty intimately with some of those guys, do you sense that same sort of thing, that they're ready to, after last year, they were really ready to hit the ground and try to make up for all that, I guess, just turn the page and all that?
I see that. I mean, we've talked about it. And so I see, that sense of urgency to get better with the players, in the back end of the deal. So, we're digging in and working to get better every single day. Back there, it's important because, like, if you have a really good secondary, you're not going to give up a lot of explosive plays. Like, you're not going to give up big plays, passes, or runs. Any run that goes over 12 yards is either a lost leverage with a defensive back, a missed tackle, or a loaf. So we shouldn't have runs that go, over 12 yards, and then we should eliminate big play passes. And we need to be able to be in position to make the plays we're supposed to make. And we need to be able to play man and zone, and press and off coverage. We need to be able to mix the coverages and be proficient in all the coverages that we have. I mean, and we need to be able to be willing tackles. We need to be able to set the edge in the run game, and do a real good job on perimeter support, whether it's, bubble screens, jailbreak screens, things like that, or they can't run the ball inside, and they're going to try to get us on the edges. We got to be stout out there. So, I mean, it's everything. It's not just, covering guys. We need to be stout in block protection and be able to, beat blockers and finish on the ball and things like that. So, I mean, we need to work to get that done, but they know what's ahead of us, what we got to get done. So it's just putting the work in day to day, and they're willing to do it.
Everyone good?
How beneficial has it, being a quarterback coach? Just also maybe more flexibility from a staffing standpoint. I mean, we're able to add, obviously, Brandon and allocate resources towards different part of the defense because you have the experience, obviously, being a high-level position coach yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's helping us because we were able to reconfigure our staff, and like with Ross Ells, he coaches all of the special teams, and so that's tough duty, and then now he's coaching the nickels on defense, which that nickel position is like a defensive back and a linebacker position, and that guy usually gets a short end of the stick in terms of coaching, and so we're able to get him there so that position can get full attention. And those guys are usually corners. Like right now, they're mostly corners. So like he and I are meeting together with those guys, and so we work well together because I was with him we were together at Colorado, and he knows me, so we work well together when those guys are in the same room. So I think it's a benefit, and then being able to, and then like HB does a great job, so he's he's very detailed and focusing on the safeties, and at some point like we're really gonna be together a lot more. Like right now we're meeting in separate rooms a lot of times, but at some point in fall camp, once we get we get closer to when it's time to play, those guys all be in one room, and we'll all be working together because it's like having an offensive line and having your centers and guards in one room and your tackles in another room. We need to be like one unit. But like right now in the spring, us breaking up, we're covering a lot of ground in a very, very short period of time. And we're eliminating the gray, and it's black and white, so the guys can play fast and get better, and they can compete. We can see who can get it done for us, and then having that really opens up an extra spot for us on defense. So I got BT doing the pass rush specialist, and he's not working with just like D linemen. Like we have linebackers that can rush, and we got guys that blitz. So working with those guys, and so it's a very specialized approach for each position, which is what you want. That's really what it really needs to be. and I enjoy coaching. I mean, I got into coaching to coach, you know. And sometimes when you're a coordinator or a head coach, sometimes you don't coach as much, like hands-on, like in the meetings, running the projector, and coaching the details. And so now that I'm going into year 3, and we really established and shifted the culture and laid the foundation, now I can go and do some of those things to try to, you know, help the team and, you know, lend my experience and expertise to the team, and you know, and just help us get better a lot faster.
And how beneficial is it that, you know, Harlan's kind of had experience with that, with Nick, obviously,
Yeah, I mean, we all check our egos at the door anyway. And shoot, I've had experience with it's probably better that I've had the experience than, you know, because we both had the experience with Coach. I mean, like that's a humbling experience, existence now when you're doing that. So you learn how to check your ego at the door, you know. So yeah, I think it does help that he's had that experience and I've had it. And we just want to win games, period. So that's it. That's what's important. It doesn't matter. It's amazing what you can do if nobody cares who gets the credit, you know. So that's our approach we're taking, and it's very professional. And the players are benefiting from it.
I was wondering, just real quick, you got a schedule mapped out for beyond Saturday yet in terms of you just player exit interviews, meetings, kind of next week, or what's, you know, before spring semester or summer semester starts? What are the next few things you got to do?
I think we have like a couple weeks before finals, and then I have some discretionary weeks in there, and then hopefully we'll get these guys signed up for some internships. You know, in that three weeks, you know, between you know, finals ending and our summer program beginning, and then we'll go into our summer program, and you know, I'll meet with some guys, you know, individually, you know, around their schedules. But you know, it's a year-round thing now, you know, so it just goes into the next phase. It never really stops. It's like too short. It just don't stop.